So I think some of us are not certain why, but debates play an essential role in every country's democracy. They give you a chance to see the character, temperament, and unscripted approaches of leaders seeking to be leaders. Joining us this morning to discuss the importance of these debates are National Democratic Institute Deputy Director for Latin America and the Caribbean, Matt Dippel, and Vice Chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission, Brian Schmidt. Well, that was a mouthful. Good morning. Good morning to you both. I think I want to say welcome back to Jamaica. You've been here before?
That's true.
All right, I got it right.
It's a pleasure to be back.
I'll start with you, sir. No disrespect to my friend Brian. Why are debates important in the first place?
Well, I think you did a nice summary at the outset, but we're seeing a global trend where countries around the world are trying to organize debates. By my count, it's at least 90 countries have held debates. We looked at some polling information. 75% of voters around the world, from Kenya to Peru, they all want debates. It's a unique opportunity. It's the ultimate job interview for candidates. It's the only time the candidates are together in one place at the same time so people can look at their views. And we've seen countries like Haiti where 92% of voters tuned into presidential debates that they had in 2016.
Yeah. Wow. Just before Dale, and I'll stick with you, sir, I don't know if the research shows, but if I'm undecided, whether it's Brian or Matt, would a debate help me to decide?
I think so. That's one of the unique things about the debates is that undecided voters are unlikely to watch a campaign rally, but they will watch a debate. So it gets everybody out of their political bubble, and it's kind of a shared experience. And that's actually one of, I think, the big reasons that candidates like to participate in debates. They can talk directly to voters. They reach undecided voters who normally may not be listening.
Mm-hmm. One of the things why I like the debates, Brian, is, when you're on the campaign trail and there's a type of energy, there's a different type of communication to the people who are there. But when you go into a debate, it's an opportunity to hit the points that people need to hear, no?
Yeah, the whole point of debates is that they're issues driven. So it, as Matt had said, it allows the public to see those who are putting themselves for public office in a more objective, fair manner, and you can compare them side by side. Now, what's interesting, we found that debates, exit polling of debates has been pretty effective. We found that 67%, I think it is, of everybody who watches a debate says, listen, the debates have been very useful to us. It has given us information we never had. It's met our expectations. We've learned from it, and that's incredible. But what I find very interesting is that 35%, I think it was, or 37% in our last set of polls, the respondents said that it impacted their decision on how to vote. So some people, of course, it concretized where they were planning to vote.
Right.
But it was very interesting how many of them shifted their vote. Very, very interesting. So debates have proven to be very, very useful here.
In terms of the decision making.
In terms of decision making, yeah, because people now are able to see the issues, not the usual campaign, political rhetoric kind of thing, So I think that has proven the value of the debates. And, we've been doing this for just about 21 years and change. And so it has now become a part of our political landscape, which is great because it is showing that our democracy now is really maturing.
Yeah. Sir Matt, since the government came out to say when the local government elections would be, I've been asking all the analysts how important are local government elections vis-a-vis national elections. I don't know what they call it in the United States or anywhere else because I know you have governors and you vote for that. Why local government? Why not just do the national thing and get it out of the way?
I think what I've seen in the United States and probably around the world is the municipal elections. That's where people engage with the government, and that's where they look to have their needs met first. So those are really important. And in a lot of countries, they're sometimes more important actually than national elections because people feel the impact directly.
I asked that question because some of our local government representatives are not running in the national election because they're councillors. They're not running for seats in Parliament, which is the reason I asked, Brian. Maybe you could speak to that.
Yeah, well, Matt touched on it. The truth is that local government impacts far more directly than national politics. Day to day, local government controls what we interact with: roads, lights, sewage, gully cleaning,
The environment.
the entire environment. Then there's licensing, right? Because you do have barbers and hairdressers are licensed by local government, and then you have town planning and building codes and all of these things. So when you actually think about it, local government touches your life very directly every single day. And that's what makes it so important.
Yeah. How do you determine now, heading into ours, the way the debate will run? Because you know, politics is very touchy, and people will say, why did they ask that person to ask the questions? No, she didn't cut them off. How do we, do we have time limits? What do we do to ensure that it's a little bit more objective?
Okay, well, the first thing, anybody who wants all the information, it's on our website, JamaicaDebatesCommission.com. So the rules of engagement are there. In fact, there's a lot of articles. There are a lot of articles about local government. And we actually have up the local government legislation and so on. So people can learn anything they need to about local government and how the debates are run. But yes, it's very controlled. The questioners are going to ask the questions. They have 30 seconds to ask their questions. So no speeches from the questioners. And by the way, the questions are prepared by the questioners. The commission in no way has any influence on the questions. We hear what the questions are at the same time when they're asked. Okay? But they have 30 seconds to ask their questions. The person that the question is directed to, they have 90 seconds to answer. And their counterpart, their opposition, has 45 seconds to rebut. So what we try to do is keep it as tight as possible. We know that sometimes it may feel maybe a little rigid. It's not as free-flowing as a regular conversation, but at the end of the day, there's just so much ground to cover in 90 minutes of debate. So we try to get as much breadth of issues and topics covered as is reasonably possible.
Who chooses the questioners and who decides on the topics?
Okay, the Debates Commission decides on the questions, and we draw from the pool of our crack journalists throughout the industry. In terms of the topics, what we do is we suggest to them things that they can look on because of what is hot and happening in the country. So there are going to be two debates, one on Thursday, which is about today already.
Right, yeah.
But we've been working so hard and long on this thing. It's like
what time?
But it's at 9 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
And
Matthew's like, Brian is still in tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm still in there. But tonight's debate is going to be about policy and how policy impacts on you. Whereas on Saturday, the debate is about local government at work. So that's more about the nuts and bolts. So tonight it's like, is the policy working? Do the policies need to change? Is it effective? Do we need to have a fresh look?
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting.
Sir Matt, are debates, or are they specific to countries and things look different wherever you go, or it's just the same thing we'll see here? I mean, the questions obviously will be different, but it's the same thing we'll see here as we see in the United States and elsewhere.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because NDI and the U.S.-based Commission on Presidential Debates, which will be working on debates for 2024 in the U.S., and the Jamaica Debates Commission, we came together in 2009 and formed Debates International, which is a network of 41 countries that all organize debates. But the lesson there is that despite the country, whether you're big or small, debates are all beneficial, and you face the same challenges in each country despite the cultural differences.
Yeah.
Do you think they've come to improve the way we, okay. No, because it affects decision making, and that's for who's watching. Do you think it affects also just how seriously we take governance, and that's for the people who will now have to participate in the debate? So now there's less rhetoric and more focus on, well, I have to have the policies, I have to have the direction, because the debate is going to demand that of me?
I think you're correct for two reasons. One, in terms of the preparation for debates, those that are debating, they know that what they're saying is going on public record.
Right.
And what we have seen here is that our journalists have referred to debates and said, well, sir or ma'am, in such a debate, you said so and so and so. We need an update on that. So what it does, it allows the society and the media fraternity to hold politicians and those who put themselves up for public office accountable for what they say.
We have to go to news. Good to see you. Have some fun while you're here, sir, Matt.
Thank you.
And good work.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Brian.
NDI Deputy Director, Latin America and the Caribbean, Matt Dipple, and Vice Chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission, Brian Schmidt.
The second edition of News in 5 comes up now. Stay with us, please. Soon come.